5. So at this point, you've read your poem several times. You've paraphrased what you think your poet means. You've turned that in. So your next step is the actual analysis of the poem. And I'm just reading from what you see on your screen, my screen. So look carefully at these individual elements which make up your poem and how each of those elements, and y'all, this is an important part right here. You might even, I don't know if you can do anything to yours. Did mine highlight? Okay, so I'll highlight it for you. It's important that you not only say this is a metaphor, this is a simile, but you also need to tell me how does that metaphor contribute to the effectiveness of the poem. That's where you get really detailed into analysis. So here what I've done is listed these elements. The first thing you'll need is a hard copy, and I think we all printed a hard copy. That's why. So now you'll need a hard copy. You'll annotate your hard copy using these criteria. And that's the first thing that you'll do. You'll turn your hard copy in. I'll just go on down to the bottom. Your hard copies due Tuesday at the beginning of the class period. So you'll have some time tomorrow to work on that. You'll have some time on Monday to work on that. Okay? The things that you're looking for in your poem is who is the speaker and what is the situation. So these are things that you'll look for, but you'll also write about these things in your part 5. So what you're essentially doing is taking your hard copy and you're going to just mark up your hard copy with these things. Alright? And then you will put your notes into sentences and paragraphs for part 5. Part 5 will be a combination of some things maybe you found in your sources, but I want to also, part 5 won't be as heavily cited. I'll say that again. Part 5 won't be as heavily cited because I'm looking for your ideas on these things. Okay? If you do get something from a source, you will cite it, but I want to see a lot of part 5 as yours. As always, I'll help you. So who is the speaker? What does the speaker's attitude reveal toward his subject? What's the situation going on? So in other words, what's happening in the poem. Part 2 deals with diction and imagery. So that's where you have to look up words. Do you know all the dictionary definitions of the words? Look up words that you don't know. Hopefully you did that when you did your paraphrase. On B, which words convey the richest connotations? In other words, what are some words that really may have some double meanings to them? If there are, guys, are you going to have every one of these things in your poem? The answer is no. Okay? Don't look and try to find things that aren't there. The reason that you're going to turn in your hard copy to me is so I can look at it and say, oh, well, that person missed this, metaphor. And I'll just put on there, hey, this is something else you need to look at. And that way you'll have that so that you can write about it. I've included imagery on this. Are there any sense imagery like visual or auditory or tactile, touch? So any of those images. The next one is figures of speech. And a lot of you, as you were reading, you saw those similes, you saw those metaphors, you saw that personification. Okay? So you'll talk about those things and you'll highlight those on your poem. Symbolism. Does something symbolize something else? Whose poem was I looking at this morning? I can't remember. I know it was either Micah's or Landon's, but I can't remember. But there was some symbolism in there, seems like, that I was thinking about but not talking about because we weren't doing that yet. Okay, syntax and structure. What kinds of sentences does the poet use? So in other words, does your poet flip-flop his sentences? Or do your sentences go in a normal order, subject, verb? Okay. Are there any structures? Steve, what do you have, the altar?
I have...
Easter wings?
No.
Okay, never mind. Who has the altar or Easter wings?
I have altar.
Okay, the altar. You're going to talk about structure here because yours is actually patterned like an altar. Okay? His poem looks like an altar at the front of a church. So he'll definitely talk about structure here. Here's where you sonnet people, Cooper. And sonnet, you'll talk about, whoever else has sonnet, a lot of you do. Yeah. Here's where you'll talk about your A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G. That's a Shakespearean sonnet. That's the rhyme scheme. You'll talk about all of those things. So that's where you'll talk about that. Sound. Does the poem rhyme? Does it have alliteration? Does it have consonants and assonants? You may have to look at those to you and add those since the Raven last year. But we've definitely done alliteration lately. And then finally, theme. How do all of these elements tie together? Is there a theme? Is it stated? Is it implied? Those are the things that you'll talk about in this part. All right? And the first thing that you'll do, hard copy, do beginning of the class period, Tuesday, November 21st. And I might possibly move that to the end of the class period. I'll let you know. Okay, because I don't know that we want to really start Act 2 of Macbeth and then go to Thanksgiving. What you will do is you will make a copy, and we can do that during class. We'll make a copy at the beginning of class on Tuesday because I don't want to keep, in case you want to work on your Part 5 over Thanksgiving, don't laugh at me, then you'll have your poem and I'll have a copy. You keep the color code, that's fine. If you want a color code, I don't care if you don't. Once you've annotated your poem, then you'll organize your information into minimum 400 words. Okay? And then I've listed all those things that you can look at because we're about out of time and I know you need to get your books put up. But you can look at all of that. We're getting close, especially with a week, more than a week. Well, not more than a week, but your Thanksgiving break, our time will be getting short. So anyway, unless you have questions, let's put away. You can ask them tomorrow.